Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Guys, have we got a wild one for you guys today? So today I'm going to explain how the war in Ukraine is already spreading to other countries. And I'm going to explain, and I've got some facts and some articles to back it up, and how that's going to affect you if you live in the UK, if you live in any country that is a perceived adversary of Russia. So guys, just before we continue, thank you so much for you guys who have commented, and please guys, if you've not done so already, please like, comment, subscribe and share my stuff. Really helps me out when you do that. What I want to talk about and just do a little bit further commenting is what people have been saying, in the comments on here and our other platform, excuse me, about people stealing food, and how this is starting to be a wider spread thing. Now, I don't know where I stand with this, guys, but it really does look like in the UK we're going to have a two-tier system where we're going to have a literal black market for food, where people, instead of paying whatever, they just go and buy it off the black market for a lot cheaper. I don't know where we go with that. If we look back, we kind of revere Robin Hood, don't we? Robin Hood, who robs from the rich and gives to the poor. Now, another interpretation of that would be he robs from people and he pays off the locals. I don't know, guys. Tell me what you think about that. Would that be another sentence that fit into that category? Was Robin Hood just a crook? And where are we going at the moment? Are we going to start to see Robin Hood figures on social media that are stealing from Tesco's and giving a load of food away? I don't know, guys, but we are in for an absolute wild ride. So what I want to talk about today, guys, like I said, is how the war in Ukraine is spreading into other countries. But I've already spoken about France and West Africa. What I want to do, I want to first talk a little bit about Sudan and the gold that's in. Let me talk about Sudan actually. Let me give you a little background. So fighting broke out in Sudan in I think April last year, so April 23. Between the Sudanese Armed Forces and the Rapid Support Forces, basically government forces and forces opposing the government. Excuse me. So Sudan itself was already experiencing a food crisis because of extreme weather. That extreme weather, obviously you have bad crops. The bad crops means there's not enough food. There's not enough food, so people steal and loot. Because people steal and loot, they have to put the prices up. And guys, it's a self-fulfilling. It's another one of these self-fulfilling prophecies. But as we are at the moment, 37% of Sudanese people are facing severe food insecurity. So for those of you who watch my, I did a video recently about food insecurity in the UK. I think these places like Sudan and places in Africa are the places who are going to really suffer from famine, because the food producers, when there's a shortage, the highest bidder will get it. So whereas in the UK we complain that the food prices have gone up, guys, we'll still be getting food. These places, these poorer countries, like a lot of places in Africa, Sudan, where we're talking about, these are the countries who just won't get food because people, they can't afford it. And if you're a manufacturer of food, are you going to sell something for $10 or are you going to sell it for $100? Of course you're going to sell it for $100. And that is just the way that it is. I'm going to put a link into the in the description of this video, guys. Go and check the link. It's called Crisis Fighting Sudan. What you need to know about the crisis. Hang on. Oh, I've missed my thing now. Hang on. Yeah. So go and look at that. What was I looking for? Go and look at that article. Look at the pictures of the kids there, guys, and try and imagine yourself if you're in that situation with your children. It's as humanity, it's absolutely disgusting. And guys, me going off on a little rant, when we see, and I see these people in like Monaco getting out of their Ferraris and you know, these women with their expensive dresses on, and then, you know, guys, I'm exposed to these things. You know, I've been in this world for quite a while, and I see these mass injustices of children starving to death. You know, mothers and parents trying desperately just to provide food for their children. And then you've got people cruising around in Ferraris who've never been hungry in their life. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Maybe it's just me starting to get old. Anyway, so that's kind of the backdrop of what's happening in Sudan. So you've got a company, this is just one company, guys, in Sudan called the Sudanese Mineral Resource Company. Now, this year, they're estimated to generate $2.1 billion in revenue. Now, that's from gold exports. So the minerals and the mining all over Africa is huge business. Now, a lot of these mining companies have got links to Russian mercenary groups, not least the Wagner Group. So I've already spoken again, you know, about the uranium in West Africa, where France and Russia are competing. Now we've got this gold in Sudan that's funding a lot of Putin's war machine. But also with that, let's just remember that Putin recently said he's going to, Putin's going to arm the West's adversaries. So for sure, these Sudanese people, they will want to keep giving Putin his gold, because the Sudanese, they can't do anything with that gold. You know, when they get the gold, they lack the infrastructure and the network and the capacity to get that out to the market and to sell that and then to mix it with other gold. You know, I mean, you had a similar issue in Sierra Leone with the blood diamonds, but that's a different story. Anyway, so that's kind of what's happening there, guys. All right, you've got mining companies making a load of money. A lot of that money is going to the Russians. And well, let me just quickly read you an article now about how this war has actually spread. So this is an article from Politico, and it's saying that that Ukrainians are now operating in Sudan. Well, I'm not sure if it actually mentions Sudan, but it definitely says Africa. I think it does actually. Hang on. Yeah. So, you know, people are saying that the Ukrainians are operating in Sudan and taking out, you know, these Russian mercenaries. You know, the reality is, this is, you know, it doesn't matter what the reality is. What do we always say on this channel? The reality is not really relevant. It's the perception of reality. So do the Russians think that there are Ukrainians operating? It could be Americans, it could be Brits, it could be, guys, it could be anyone. But the reality is they think it's the Ukrainians. So let me just read what it says here. Ukrainian forces hunt down Russian fighters worldwide. Kiev. Ukrainian special services are hunting Russians abroad. Andriy Yusov, an official with Ukraine's HUR, military intelligence, told Politico. Ukrainian intelligence has to be present wherever there is a need to destroy the enemy, which is waging a full-scale war against Ukraine. We are present wherever it is possible to weaken the interests of Russia. As for Sudan, I can neither confirm or deny, he added with a smile. So there you've got kind of a tacit, you know, agreement that, you know, a tacit admission that they are operating in Sudan. What you're seeing now, obviously, you're seeing these conflicts expand, because everybody knows that this war, when it comes, it's going to be a war of resources, you know, and people need to control the resource. It's going to be a war of manufacturing, and all wars, you can't have any manufacturing if you've got no resources. So at every level, when you take your resources back, you come to the raw materials, and that's what you need. It's no good having your, you know, the best microchip factory if you can't get any silicon. It's no good having your best laser cutters if you can't get any argon gas. You see what I mean, guys? You've got to secure the raw materials first, which is what Africa is. You know, Africa's a vast resource for these raw materials. Earlier this month, the Kiev Post published a video of Ukrainian special forces questioning Russian-speaking fighters captured in Sudan, who said they were with the Wagner Group, Wagner Group, a mercenary outfit. On the video, a Russian-speaking Ukrainian soldier, HUR, H-U-R, guys. If you're, you know, I know Russell Brand says her, it's not, it's HUR. So that's how you pronounce it, guys, HUR. Russian-speaking Ukrainian soldier that Hur identified by his call sign Timur asks one of the prisoners where he is from and why he came to Sudan. We are from Wagner Private Military Group. We are from Wagner Private Military Group, here to overthrow the local government, the fighter responded in Russian. I don't know, guys, do you like accents? The mercenary added there were 100 Wagner fighters in Sudan and that they were based in neighbouring Central African Republic. So you can see already in Africa, this web is expanding of, you know, right, you guys are going to be based there, but you're going to do operations in here. You guys give us that gold, we'll give you guys weapons. And this whole network, it's not black and white, guys, all right? It's very murky at best. In November, the Kiev Post obtained 2 videos reporting to show Ukrainian Special Forces operators hunting Russian mercenaries in Sudan. Russia has a significant, there it is, guys. Russia has a significant footprint in Africa, initially led by Wagner Group mercenaries, but now called the Africa Corps, and formed by the Russian Defense Ministry. They have a presence across Africa's Sahel region and in Burkina Faso, as well as in Libya, according to a report by the Warsaw-based Centre for Eastern Studies. So those of you who've been watching my videos for a while, you know, I've said that, you know, Africa, it's, you know, there's a lot of resources in Africa, and this war, the World War III, the next conflict, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be a war of manufacturing. And here in the West, we are nowhere. We're very good in the West of producing, especially in the UK, of producing ultra high tech equipment. But that's not going to be any good once it's gone. Once your super fancy drones are gone and they've done their job and they've been, I don't know, shot down, they've broken, the parts have run out, they've expired, whatever, it's going to come down to a slogging match, like it always does. And whoever's controlling the resources in Africa is going to have an upper hand. The military juntas have seized power in many countries in the Sahel region in recent years, see Russia as a protector in both domestic and international arenas, and are keen to cooperate with it in the fields of defence, the report said. So there you see, guys, already, you know, when was this article? This was February 26th, 24. So already you've seen that the Russians are already, in February, they're already starting to talk to these African nations about supplying them with arms, about supplying them with munitions, about supplying them with mercenaries. And in return, they'll take their resources. And that's what it's all about, guys. You know, a lot of these countries, a lot of poor countries get exploited, unfortunately, because they don't have this infrastructure. So what people say is, they say, right, okay, they go to the government and they say, right, you 3 guys at government, I will give you vast amounts of money if you let me take your oil. And they'll say, okay. And that's just what happens, guys, all right? It's terrible, it's wrong, people get exploited, but that's the reality of the situation, and it's happening now. And the Russians are really taking control of a lot of these resources now in Africa. And what you can see is the Ukrainians potentially, you know, this is me speculating, the Ukrainians potentially supported by Western troops, by Western intelligence, are going in there and disrupting these networks. What do we mean by disrupting these networks? Well, I'll let you guys decide. Go and search on that yourself, guys, all right? I don't want to speculate what's happening there. So, which brings me on to how this is going to affect the UK. Where are we? Not that one. Yeah, so how this is going to affect the UK. So, again, I'll put the article that I'm going from here I'll put a link to it in the description. So, there's a unit in Russia called GRU Unit 2915. Right? It sounds like a Universal Soldier, doesn't it? Like Dolph Lundgren or something. GRU Unit 29155. But, yeah, so that's it basically. It's a Russian unit. Now, the mission of this Russian unit 29155, this is their mission: to train other people in the business of explosives, sabotage, and assassination. And I'll put the links to this in the description, guys. That's what they're saying their mission is. Now, remember when I did that top 10 video before about the soft targets in the UK? Well, think about it now, and this is just me speculating. So you've got this GRU unit, the Russians, and their literal task is to train other people in the business of explosives, sabotage, and assassinations. I honestly don't think that explosives and assassinations are going to really happen that much in the UK or affect you and me, the normal daily people, but the sabotage will. And remember the mission, to train other people. Who are these other people going to be? Is it going to be me? Is it going to be, is it going to be Dave the builder? Is it going to be John the electrician? You see where I'm going, guys. In the UK, we have vast amounts of people that have come to this country quickly. Now, I'm not saying that these are criminals. What I am saying is there was a recent article in, I think it was Sky News, and they said that 31,000 people who've come here on the boats, the migrants, can we call them migrants? But 31,000 have vanished off the radar. So where are they? Where are they living? How are they getting money? What are they doing? Could those 31,000 people potentially have criminal elements in them? Guys, if just 1% of that 31,000 is criminal, then that is a huge army that they have already in this country. Remember the task, to train other people. Well, we can kind of forget about explosives and assassinations because I don't really think that's going to happen. But sabotage, and we all think of, when we think of sabotage, we all think of, a guy with a rucksack crawling under cutting through a fence and crawling under it and putting an explosive bag on on a vital fuel dump or something. But the reality is, it isn't. You've got things like soft war, and all these targets that I spoke about in my last video: the water system, the electricity system, the gas system, the your utilities infrastructure, as in the people that go out to repair it, your schools, your hospitals, your doctors, your surgeries, your pharmacies, all these things, your not police, ambulance, fire service, all these things are soft targets. Your food supply, our food supply, all these things are soft targets. And that would come under the remit of GRU Unit 29155. Guys, I'll put the link in the description, sorry. Go check it out yourself. So me speculating now. Okay, let's ask a few questions. Do we think GRU Unit 29155 is operating in the UK? I would say it's almost a certainty that they're operating in the UK. And a lot of these operators, they won't even know that they're operating for this unit. It'll just be their mate, somebody who they met overseas or they've groomed online. And I don't mean grooming as in, what we're thinking about grooming. I mean, they're talking to them online, they're giving them ideas, they're asking them to do things, they're asking them to do something small, then that small thing builds up and builds up. So I think it's pretty, as far as I'm concerned, I would say if you're asking me, I'd say it's pretty obvious that they are, operating already in the UK. I'd say they will be also recruiting people in the UK, finding out who's susceptible to bribes, who's susceptible to blackmail, and they'll be expanding their network right now. They'll also be, again, this is my speculation, they'll also be training. So they'll be showing people how to use still saws. They'll be showing people how to use oxyacetylene cutting. What are the torches called? Oxyacetylene cutting. Is it the plasma cutters, guys? They'll be teaching people how to use plasma cutters. They'll be getting a lot of this equipment. I saw some really good stuff in Lidl, and it was cheap. And I was thinking, wow, if I was a saboteur, I could buy all that stuff. It's like 60 quid. I could buy it, use it once and throw it away. For a government, that money's nothing. You just use it and throw it away. So I'd say that those are the things they'll be doing. They'll be recruiting, training and equipping themselves with all this stuff ready for the soft war, ready for the soft war targets. And guys, this soft war, it is coming. It's coming to the UK, mark my words. So what are the aims then of soft war? What are they trying to do? So I think you can kind of bracket soft war into three main, and guys, this is just my speculation, this is my opinion. You can probably bracket soft war into three categories: destabilize government, destabilize finance and banking, and destabilize and divide the country. So destabilize the government. So we want to fracture government. We want the government absolutely at war with each other. Look what's happening now with all the different groups, you know, all different groups joining up, and people, you know, I want to say they're polarized, but they're not. Polar would mean they're two. They're, I don't know, multipolarized. So many different groups. And what I found is, you know, those of you who don't know, I was standing for reform. I was going to stand for reform as an MP in my local area. I resigned from that for reasons I won't go into here, but I've resigned for that, and that was the right thing. But what I found is, your people on this political spectrum, you either agree with everything that that party says, or you're out. There's no grey area. And for me, I think you should be able to stand for whatever group you want, but you don't necessarily have to agree with every policy they make, with every decision they make. And guys, we are polarizing ourselves to different sects, and you know, we can't cross. What time is it? You know, and if we start to talk about other ideas, and you're in one camp, you get ostracized. So that's what is happening at the moment. The government is already destabilized in the UK. So destabilize finance and banking. All these cyber attacks and hacks and all this sort of stuff, and these cost of living crisis, well, not so much the cost of living crisis, but definitely the hacks and the cyber attacks. The main goal of these cyber attacks is to, you know, destabilize financing and banking, because once that happens, you get a banking run. And the way the system is at the moment, if we have a bank run in the UK or any, you know, Western country, it will be so much worse than it's ever been. So previously, you could, for a bank run, you'd have to queue up, and I don't know, in the 30s or whatever, and you'd have to queue up, you'd have to sign something and get your money. Now it can be all done online. So I don't know how quickly this will happen, but I feel if we have a bank run on one bank, whoever you bank with, guys, think of that now, and I'm not picking on any bank. I don't know, the Royal Bank of Raven. Say that you all bank with the Royal Bank of Raven, and the Royal Bank of Raven starts to show signs of distress, and people, in fact, guys, the Royal Bank of Raven is never going to show signs of distress, is it? Let's think of, the Royal Bank of Sunak. Let's say it's the Royal Bank of Sunak. The Royal Bank of Sunak is showing signs of distress, so everybody rushes in to get their money out, and then the bank collapses because there's no money and they can't service their debt. All the other people in all other banks are now going to do the same, because they're going to think, whoa, well, I just want to get my money out quickly just to make sure I'm okay. And that's what's going to happen, because I feel once one bank goes in the UK or in the West, you'll see so many other banks fall really quickly, you know, because they're not built on firm, they're built on sand. And obviously the final thing that, you know, these soft targets want to do is divide the country. And again, you can see that in the UK already. You've got, you know, so many groups, and it's kind of, you know, once you've got a divided government, you have the divided country kind of comes afterwards, and we need something there to unite everyone, guys. But they're the three things that that they're trying to do in my expertise: destabilize government, destabilize finance, divide the country. Anyway, guys, I've waffled on for far too long. If you like these videos, guys, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna mag to grid.